for Amy, tacos and beer. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what's the proper term for this? Emotional episode of Dylan Knows. It's so emotional so much that I had to change my studio. This is my bedroom. Unfortunately, it is a disaster area, but that's okay, right? I got comics are over there and the lights up in the corner there and kids' artwork on the wall, stuff like that. So unfortunately, I had to, not unfortunately, this is actually, not a bad thing, because right now, the basement of my house, right now, it's not 106. Shoot, I got to change the name. I got to retitle this episode. Oh, well, it's 196, not 106. That's where I'll take care of that later. Right now, downstairs in my house, I have a few of the fellow snarkalecs. The lovely Stardust, Heather, is here. The lovely Consweet Con Nicole is here also. We did have the lovely Wolfish here as well. He left he brought his son, and he was able to play with our kids, and Heather brought her son. So it was lots of kids playing around downstairs and lots of grown-ups having good conversation and reminiscing about our fallen snarkalec. For those who might not know what exactly is going on right now, the snarkalec is a group that I am a part of. It's a big group. We've got close to 140 plus members, and we've been together for a really long time. Geez, I'm thinking, let's see, I started the show almost 4 years ago. So we were together at least upwards of maybe 2 or so years before that, because snarkalec Radio was on before I was on. So I'm thinking about 6, 7 years we've been together. And over the years, we've become closer via what we've been watching on Sci-Fi Channel. And that spread to our friendships that we had, where we started talking about other episodes of TV shows and watching our TV shows, and then talking about other stuff too, sports, books, work, stuff like that. And we've grown into a much bigger position. Let's see if I can try to get my tacos to show a bit more. Nah, it's not going to work. And we've grown to be people as a family. And we know a lot more about each other than most people we know in real life. And we've actually, there are a lot of people out there who are just friends on the internet, and they've never met each other. We've had what we call Snark Stock. We've had 3 of them. 4 of them. Excuse me, 4 of them. And we also have some mini ones around the area as well. So we've actually come and we've actually had dinners together. We've talked together. We've laughed, and we've cried. And when you have a group of 140 plus people, eventually things are going to happen. Life catches up with you. Life moves pretty fast. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. And it's pretty sad that some of the major good and the major bad has happened with the same person. The lovely Amy Fegaro, who we are eulogizing today. Amy was 31 years old when she died. She died, unfortunately, on my birthday. And the cause of death as of now is unknown. But it's really not our place to find out what it is. We were friends with her husband, Patrick. And we knew them, and Amy was on my show 5 times at least that I know of. She was also on another show I do called The Snooze, where we actually had a contest to name her new baby, her first baby. That's where the good comes in. She was the first snarkalec, since we were branded as snarkalecs, to give birth to a baby. Now, there are snarkalecs who have kids. I have 2 kids, and the majority of other snarkalecs have multiple kids as well. And but Amy's son, Luke, was the first born under the snarkalec sign, as it were. When we started the snarkalecs, we all pretty much had our children in place. Amy was the first one to give birth under the snarkalec banner. And because of that, 140 aunties and uncles. That was the good part. The bad part happened soon after he was born. He was diagnosed with a weakened heart as a newborn and had to have multiple surgeries to repair his little baby heart. At the same time, Amy was undergoing an infection situation because of the childbirth. And for the longest time, the snarkalec family, we were one together, giving our best, paying our respects, forcing our will upon Luke and Amy to get better and survive. And as I like to say, Cage was a fighter. I'll get to the reason why I call Luke Cage in a second. Cage is a fighter. He fought and he won. Luke was okay. He'll forever be a heart baby, but the hospital did a really good job taking care of him and fixing him, and did a good job of taking care of Amy. So things started looking up for Amy. She was back on the show. She was having a blast. Everyone, everything was good and wonderful. And baby Luke was good, and he got through his first birthday fine, and he was great. And I think he might have gone through a second one. I'm not 100% certain. But I think, but Luke was a survivor. He was a fighter. Unfortunately, on June 20th of 2017, her husband, Patrick, found her unresponsive. She was rushed to the hospital where she was declared dead. So she became the first snarkalec to die under the snarkalec banner. And at such a young age of 31, and leaving behind a young baby who fought for his life and won, and you thought, okay, life, you've done enough. Let's make this couple happy. Life stepped in and said, not so fast. And that, I think, is what that, and the age of 31, and the fact that her and Patrick and Lucas were just finally in that spot where everything seemed to be good. They had a new house. Lucas was fine growing up, being a rambunctious little child, which is good. Even it might have drawn Amy and Patrick to drink. It was good because Lucas was a normal baby, despite the fact of what he went through himself. It's a crushing blow for the snarkalec family. Even tougher crushing blow for Patrick. And a heartbreaking, and no pun intended on that, role for Lucas, who will never know his mom. I think that's the hardest part about this whole thing, is the fact that Luke was such a fighter. And he fought and he won. And his mom fought and she won. And Patrick was there the whole time helping them through the stuff. They were a cohesive team. They were a family. And it got taken away from them. That's the hardest thing, to do that. Her own words, Amy was a Puerto Rican American, an honorary Canadian. Those are her own words. She had a filthy mouth, But you know what? Doesn't matter, because we all do. But she took pride in her filthy mouth. She was a bright light, devoted mother, devoted wife, husband, friend, not husband, friend to her husband. They were high school sweethearts who've known each other forever. And she was just so vibrant and full of life, even during the darkest time with Lucas struggling for life. Amy's pure will and her and Patrick's combo inside Lucas, which created the powerful ability to survive, was what we're going to miss the most from Amy. She loved tacos. Tacos. We had tacos today. She loved beer. This one's for you. Amy made fun of me because, to be honest, I'm not a big beer drinker. I don't like a lot of beer. This is for you, Amy. She loved pizza. Pizza, tacos, and beer. Unfortunately, she also loved Alabama football. They all make mistakes, don't they? And that's the thing about Amy. She can make you laugh. And she never took herself seriously. And she would let you know, she would have smacked me for saying something like that. But in a fun, positive way, because, I don't despise Alabama. But she was a huge Alabama fan, Alabama football fan. And this was before they were excellent. She was a long-time Alabama fan. So she's not a bandwagoner, not a jumper, whatever. She's been an Alabama fan forever. So, cursing. Favorite part of everything was cursing. Why did I call Lucas Cage? Well, here's a little sampling of Amy for you. As I said, I've been doing this show. It should be 196 episodes, not 106 episodes. I should hopefully be able to change that later on. She was on my show 5 times. She might have even been on snarkalec Radio a couple times as well. And she was on the Snooze once. I'm always going to remember this. The Snooze is a show I do with Tony Solo. Tony Solo is the godfather of the snarkalec, the one who got us together as the boss, as we call him. And he and I do a show called The Snooze, once a month thing we do. And we talk about snarkalec news. It's a way of keeping the snarkalcs together, even though over the last few months, and maybe even if you want to go back a year or so, we haven't really been, we're still there and we're still friends and all that stuff, but the snarkalec brand has never really been on display so much because Sci-Fi has refused to show any of their B movies, which is what our bread and butter was based on. But we've evolved enough past that point where we don't need them to still be together. And as I said, we've grown close to each other in the 6 to 7 years we've been together. So when Amy announced her pregnancy, it was a jolt of excitement through the snarkalec community. As I said, first baby born under the snarkalec banner, first snark baby. I mean, all of our other kids are honorary snarkalcs because they were there already when we started. Lucas was at the beginning of his life. He will always be a snarkalec. He was the first one that, his whole life, he will be a snarkalec. Whereas with other kids, just a big portion of their life. So we invited her on an episode of The Snooze once. And she had actually, jokingly, just to see what we could do, because it was such a big deal being the first snarkalec baby being born, that the snarkalec should help her name her baby. And if they found one that she liked, she would name them that. So people went all outrageous and were bringing in crazy ones. One of my favorites is their last name was going to be Fanning. Someone, I think it was me, but I don't remember. Someone said, "Well, I name him Ceiling. Ceiling Fanning." Yeah, I just lost a viewer because they didn't like that joke. Um, and then there was some other crazy stuff going on, crazy names, and there's some regular, normal names. But the fact was, they wanted to see the snarkalec wanted to see what they could get away with. So they threw out all kinds of crazy names, and Tony and I, we read them to her and got her response to them. And a lot of the time, she might have rolled her eyes, but even on some of the most outrageous ones, well, that could be interesting, kind of funny type of thing for him. But and that was always half kidding. And then I came up, I guess, I came up with the idea of Cage. I thought Cage would be a great name. Cage Fanning would be like a perfect name for a Alabama quarterback or wide receiver, something like that. She was intrigued by that, but in the end, she is her right, and her and Patrick's right, decided to name their baby Lucas. But I always called him Cage all the way up to his birth. And Amy didn't mind, not a bit. And when he was having his issue with his heart, I started the hashtag Cage as a fighter. And then this past January 2017, it was episode 1, I think I have it written down somewhere, episode 176. Was end of January. And Amy hadn't been on my show in a while, and I wanted her on the show because I was trying to start something called Have a Happy on my Dylan Knows show. And because of all the darkness in the world with government and war and other stuff as well, I wanted to bring happiness and light to the world. And so I was going to try to do an episode a month with different snarkalecs, but in the end, it didn't quite work out because not a lot of people were interested in doing an episode like that, or timing just didn't work out for some people. But this was the first one I was going to do. And I had Brienne and Amy and Bronwyn planned. Bronwyn ended up having a conflict she could not do, so I kept Brienne and Amy on there. Now, I've had Brienne and Amy and Bronwyn together on my show a couple times, and when you get the three of them together, I don't even have to talk, really. I just step back and I let them go at it, and it's fantastic to watch this. Just the life, and those three women, and Amy stood up with them as well. This episode, 176, I did in January, was the last one Amy was going to do for me. It wasn't the last one I wanted her to do. I wanted her to do a whole bunch more. But unfortunately, life had other plans. But what made this episode particularly special, and it's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this episode, it was because I wanted the world, snarkalecs, and everybody else out there in the world who may stumble upon my little dinky show, I wanted them to see what a true fighter looks like. I convinced Amy, can you get Cage on? I called him Cage. And she said yes. So we're doing the show, and at the time, Cage is sleeping. And so we're doing the show, and everything's going good. It's kind of a bizarre show because Brienne's Wi-Fi wasn't really working at her house, so she had to go to a Starbucks and use their Wi-Fi, so it was kind of loud. That was kind of funny in itself. But I'm sorry, been getting some tweets on my Twitter, and I'm going to read a bunch of those in a few minutes. So we're getting close to the end of the show, and I sort of give Amy the look, and I'm like, "Is Cage up?" She's like, oh yeah, I'll get him. So she gets up, gets Cage. And I get my first view live of Lucas Cage, or Cage as I will always and forever call him. And he's adorable. About me, big eyes, looking at me funny like, who is this weirdo? I'm your Uncle Dylan. I'm gonna call you Cage. And just seeing her with Lucas, and he just got up from his nap, so he's kind of out of it. You know how babies are. And this is a weird thing. He's looking at weird people he's never seen before, me and Brienne, on a small little TV screen. I think I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know exactly what happened. I think it was Amy playing a joke on me. It's like saying, dude, stop it, you stupid fucker. Stop all this chit chatting about stuff and start talking about some happy stuff. Talk about pizza and tacos. Shit, man. Because Amy loved to swear. We should be okay now. All right, let me just tweet out there, because I'm losing viewers here. I don't know exactly what happened, because it said I lost my internet, but my phone still had it. So I don't know if it was just a simple little thing. All right. So where was I? So I was just so happy that I was able to spend this time with Lucas and let him know, excuse me, that the snarkalecs are his extended aunt and uncle family, and we'll forever be uh, that way. A much bigger part, as we are going to be working harder now that Amy's gone to continue to be a presence in Lucas's life, to help out Patrick, not to overstep our bounds, but to be a support mechanism, because everybody needs family. Yes, he has his own family. Yes, he does. And they're going to be great and they're going to help him. Amy's family is going to be helping absolutely as well. But sometimes you need to have a more outside presence, more aunts and uncles or friends of the family. That's why people name their best friends aunt and uncles. Vanessa, the woman who introduced Dawn and I, and is Dawn's best friend, the kids refer to her as Aunt Vanessa because she's not literally related to us by blood or marriage, but because of the presence of her in our lives and in their lives, it becomes an aunt and uncle aspect. And that's what we're going to be doing for Lucas. But yes, Julia, to answer your question, that is how Cage came about. We were doing a show on the snooze. People threw names. One was Cage. I liked Cage. I was pushing for Cage. I almost convinced her to name him Cage, but didn't quite work. But I'm still going to call him Cage because I can. So is there anything else I wanted to chat about before I got into other people's stuff? Now, as I said before, the snarkalecs are a family. And that has been reiterated over the last couple of days because this actually has been a pretty bad week for the snarkalecs, family-wise. Amy being the culmination of it, but one of our other snarkalecs, I hope you don't mind if I mention it, Janine. Janine lost her mother. I think it was today or yesterday. And Bronwyn's husband, Steve, who is a snarkalec by marriage, and he's been on this show a couple of times, so I'll refer to him as snarkalec. He lost his grandmother this week. And MJ Khan, my co-host for Dylan Knows Comics, lost his mother earlier this week as well. So it's been a rough week, and we give our condolences to all of them as well. But Amy was different in the fact that we interacted with her. And she was, always helpful. I'm going to read a bunch of stuff that I discovered and learned about how she helped, I think it was Myrna's daughter, study for gave her information for a political paper, something she was writing. Amy went out of her way to send information to Myrna's daughter to say, hey, I'm going to give you a little hand here. That's just who she was. Her best friend, besides Patrick, was Scott Troutman, one of the guys who consistently watches my show on a regular basis, and I will always thank him for that. And just seeing the relationship between the two of them, Amy and Scott, was adorable. It was almost like a brother and sister. They were best friends, but they seemed much closer. And that was a spectacular thing. Let me just run through some of the Twitter stuff I've been getting, particularly from Grampy Snark. I've been getting a bunch of stuff from Grampy Snark, so I want to appreciate that, John. Let's see, there's a couple of things you said here, John. Let's see. Okay. Amy once said she wanted to give him the name Lucas so she could say, Luke, I am your mother. She loves Star Wars. John also says, as the saying goes, it takes a village. Lucas will have a village that spreads across the continent and across the Atlantic, which is very true because we've got snarkalecs all across the world. All right. Let's see. I'm going back into this. I'm going way back machine here. We have a very long conversation going on Twitter through all the snarkalecs, and there have been some really excellent stuff going on through this. All right. I think it's way because there was something Tony, what is Tony Sings? I might not be able, there's just way too much here. The one thing I did want to do, so I'm going to drop out of this and I'm going to go to this one. Will Fish, who is one of the guys who is a honorary Snark-out, but I think he's deserved the ranks to be pushed up a little bit more. He was with us at Snark Stock last year. He's a local guy, a friend of mine. And through us, he has been able to connect with a bunch of other people. And he was with us today, along with Heather and Nicole, in celebration of Amy's life here at our house. And actually, Heather and Nicole are still here. We were eating tacos, drinking beer, tequila, and margaritas in honor of our Puerto Rican American Canadian. But Will Fish is an artist, and Will likes to occasionally throw out there, I like suggestions. Give me suggestions for a sketch suggestion. And before he really got to know Amy, Amy responded to him, I like to see Madame Vastra from Doctor Who. And Will wasn't sure he was up to the challenge, but he tried anyway. And I'm not going to show you the drawing just in case he didn't want me to. But he drew a picture for her. And it got him to say, he was able to find her picture on the internet and was able to draw what he saw and gave it to Amy. And it got him interested in checking out the new Doctor Who when he saw that character that she asked about. He sent Amy the original, which she graciously received, and was glad for her and Patrick that Lucas had made it through such a high-risk medical crisis. And I'm sorry she was only able to know him for such a short time. And Will just said, I can show the picture. Thank you, Will. I didn't want to show it without your permission. This is the drawing that Will did for Amy, and Amy absolutely adored it. Let's see if I can get it up there. There it is, right there. So thank you, Will, for letting me share your wonderful artwork. What I wanted to do was, now I know that the snarkalecs are affected incredibly by this, but the one person who is affected by this the most is Patrick. Patrick has now gone from having a wife and a son to just having a son. That's not fair. He's going to love Lucas forever, always and forever. He's going to be an incredible father. But it's that much harder now, without a partner, without a mother for Lucas. And for a while, Patrick is going to have to play both roles. And Patrick's up to it, I'm sure, but no one should have to go through that. So now I want to go to Patrick's Facebook page and read the poem that he posted earlier today. Let's see if I can find it. And it's pretty much, here it is. This is pretty much sums up what he's feeling right now. I could only be grateful when I realized that I would rather have known you for a moment than never at all. I would rather endure this inexplicable pain of outliving you than to never have seen your face, spoken your name. I would rather be yours and you be mine, regardless. Regardless of the sorrow, the sleepless nights, and the years I will walk this earth carrying you in my heart. And it's from someone called Scribbles and Crumbs. Patrick posted that, and I think that is exactly what he's feeling right now, and what most people who lose a partner goes through right now. My Uncle Frank went through something similar a few years ago, and I did another one of these eulogy posts for my Aunt Patty, who died of cancer. While still a tragic event, at least my Aunt Patty got to see her daughter, her firstborn, get married, and her youngest son turn 21 and turn into good grown-ups. But now she's been gone for a few years, and she's missed out on eventually the chance to become a grandmother. And that's what Amy, first and foremost, Amy has always going to be Lucas's mother, but she's lost out the chance to watch him grow up, to kiss his knees when he scrapes them, to curse at him when he's been really bad, because that's what she would do. She would love her son to death, but if he drove her crazy, she would bring the crazy right back, because that's what Amy was like. Let's see if I can dig up some of Scott Troutman's stuff. Particularly did Patrick post this? I think Scott did. Scott posted a response that Amy wrote to us after Lucas was okay. So Scott, I hope you don't mind if I'm going to be doing this. Yes, here it is. To the snarkalec. This is written on July 30th, 2016. So I guess Lucas has only been 1 year old then. To the snarkalec. Tonight I was looking at old pics, tweets from when Lucas was born, from his surgery and my own hospital stay. And maybe it's just the lack of sleep, but they brought tears to my eyes to see how much you guys care. Some of you I know well, and some just a little, but you all came to our rescue with positive words, prayers, and all that good shit. You know, I can't go more than a few sentences without cussing. To keep our hopes up, and we really appreciate it. So much, I don't know how I would have made it through it all without you guys. I can't tag you all, but you know who you are. And if we ever win the lottery, I'm going to hook you guys up after we hook up Children's Hospital. And even then, I wouldn't feel like we've shown our gratitude enough. I can't wait for the day that I can share the memories with Lucas and tell him all about the snarkalec heroes that are his biggest fans. I'm hungry, so I'm going to go now. Love you all. Bye. Amy, Pat, Lucas/Cage. P.S. Should we name the next baby Pizza or Taco? Middle name Cholula. That's Amy Fegaro. Sweet Amy Fegaro. Great cursing, Amy Fegaro. I wish I could find that one picture that she posted on their date night. Let's see if she has it here. All right, Lucas was born March 5th. So he is now over a year old, just slightly over a year old. Let's see if I can find that one picture because she had a really funny quote. There it is right there. This is from June 5th, 2017. Patrick found this our first night out as parents, just now noticing the light bulb above my head. Bet I'm thinking about tacos and beer. That's our Amy. And that's Patrick. There's our cage. This is what we're doing it for. That's our cage. It's hard for me to get emotional initially. And I don't want to make this about me again, but I have to make this point. I made this point to Will Fish today. Seeing the reactions of the other snarkalecs and how much they are hurting inside and crying and stuff like that. And I'm upset. I was listening to a song yesterday at work, and it made me tear up a little bit thinking about Amy. But I feel guilty for not feeling worse. And I think it comes from, I don't know, a defense mechanism I have or whatever, because this isn't the first time where I've had a situation come up where it seems like I'm immune or numb to it, only for the floodgates to open up and all the emotion comes out. And I don't know if that's just who I am. I think it is. Sorry about that. Death happens all the time. And it's not great for the people who are left behind, particularly a situation like with Amy and Lucas and Patrick. But I have to refer to the movie Return of the King, which I used in my eulogy for my Aunt Patty, and I think is going to be appropriate for this right now. It's a scene near the end of Return of the King, and all seems to be lost. And Gandalf and Pippin are cornered, and they know the end is coming soon, and that there's only one way out, and that's fighting to the death. And Pippin's scared because he's never experienced anything like this before. And he doesn't understand death. Meanwhile, Gandalf has died and has come back as Gandalf the White. So when Pippin says his piece about being a little worried about death. Gandalf smiles at him, says, "There's nothing to be worried about." I'm going to paraphrase it. I can probably find it on here. I think I probably will, because I played it for my aunt, and I'm going to play it for Amy because she deserves it. I'm going to play it for MJ's mom and Janine's mom and Steve's grandmother and everyone else who we've lost forever. My grandparents, Dawn's grandparents, my third baby. I revealed this a while back, but Dawn and I were pregnant, I guess, around 2011 with a third child, and we had a miscarriage. I don't know if I've ever told that story. I think I have, but I think it's appropriate. So do I have the volume up? All right. All right. I'm going to just wait till we get to the actual scene, see if you guys can hear this. I hope you guys could hear that. That, to me, is the epitome of what no fear of death should be like, and what we should make death appear to us as not an ending, but a beginning. And it doesn't matter what religious beliefs you are in. The fact that there's a possibility that there is something beyond our life. That there's a possibility that we will see our departed loved ones again. That keeps us going. It keeps Lucas going down the line, that eventually he'll be able to actually meet his mother. It might not be for a while, and hopefully will not be for a long time, because we want Lucas to live a very long and passionate filled life, filled with all kinds of amazing experiences. We want him to do that. And when it's all said and done, it makes us feel better that he will be able to meet his mother face to face and be together for eternity. You don't have to be Catholic to believe that. It just is common sense and the right thing to do to help you recover from a situation like death. A situation that we don't really understand, because regardless what you may have heard or whatever, people do not come back from the dead. Zombies are just a fictional character. And even if they were true, they are not the true spirit of the person they were. It just makes sense that there is something beyond death that makes everything good. It makes all the pain, all the suffering that we go through in our daily lives, through our whole life. And yeah, there's good, there's also bad. But the fact that the possibility that we could have eternal happiness in a wonderful, surrounded by all the loved ones we've lost before, eternally happy, is not a terrible idea to have. Even if you don't believe in God or Buddha or Muhammad or whoever or no one, it's depressing to think there are people out there who think when you're dead, you're gone. There's nothing but blackness. You don't see your loved ones. You live a life, you die, you're done. I don't want to live in a world like that. I want to live in a world where there's the possibility that when we go to heaven or whatever you want to call it, you're going to be able to see your loved ones. The ones you never knew, or the ones you knew forever. The ones you truly loved, the ones you barely knew. I would love to learn about my from their mouths themselves. Losing sound. Hopefully nothing major is happening here. Can anybody else hear me out there? I think Holly said she was losing sound. Can you all hear me out there? I hope so. I don't know what else I can add. I think I covered just about what everybody is feeling and thinking. We are sad. We will be sad. But the sadness will end. Holly's lost sound. Can everybody else hear me? Oh, Holly's back. Okay. Sorry, Holly. Maybe I'm talking too quietly. I don't know. Am I doing it for emphasis? No. I'm a little distracted, as you can tell. It's a hard time for everybody. And as I said, this is our family. People have said and shared lots and lots of stuff. The one thing that I get out of all this, and this might just be because of the situation, but everybody loved Amy. Why wouldn't you? Amy was bright, vibrant, fun, outrageous, very dry wit. And I just want Patrick and Lucas particularly to know we don't forget. We stick around. We help out where we can. Lean on us. Let us know what you need. If you need just a simple person to talk to and let out the emotions that I can only imagine are welling inside of you right now, Patrick. You've got 140 people who'd be willing to bend over backwards to help you in your time of need, because that's what we are. Amy was part of our family. And I know it might sound a little weird that a group of strangers who met on the internet making fun of B movies could become a family. But 6 to 7 years in, that's a long time. I've known these people for a very, very long time. And everyone is fantastic. Everyone is so cool. And everyone has their own character. That's why we continue to try to set up these snark stocks, so we can get more people together, so we can come out and say, hey, what's going on? It's good to see you, to actually shake hands, hug, kiss, drink, eat, walk around, get lost in parking garages, whatever it takes in our snark stock to do. Here we go. Myrna, Amy helped my daughter with her homework for government class. She was kind to send me articles. She was so wonderful. I still tear up. Bronwyn, she really helped me stay positive when Steve was in the hospital. Holly, she had all our backs always. Funny, smart ass, said exactly what she thought. Always a great comeback. Smart, beautiful, perfect. I'm trying to find what Tony said, because Tony says something really great. Patrick Smith wrote a wonderful eulogy in his Unobtainium piece. It's been retweeted a number of times. Come to our Twitter accounts and check it out, or just go to Patrick Smith's Twitter account and he'll have it posted there, link posted. It was a wonderful, fantastic piece. Let's see if I can find Tony's real quick. All right. I'm sorry it's taking so long, but what Tony said was absolutely perfect. I'm trying to find it. I don't want to keep having me just pictures of me just looking through here. So I'm probably going to stop really soon if I can't find it. So good night, everyone. 10:04. It was earlier than that. Maybe Tony stepped out. That's why I can't find it. So I'm not going to worry about it right now. But needless to say, people have been writing all kinds of stuff. Jen M, have you heard? I'm sorry. Are you back with the sound for me? You lost sound 6 seconds ago. I don't think anybody else is. Lara said, great thing. One day when we've all passed, we will have one hell of a snark stock. We will all be there. Yes, we will. In so many ways, Amy was the best of us. That was from John McGevna. And there's no disagreeing with that. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think of how I'm going to close this up. When you get to a situation like this, it's always kind of hard to find the final words on the subject. But it's not really the final words. It's the final words for tonight. Life goes on. Tomorrow's another day. And Amy's still not going to be here. And it's going to be hard for a long time for a lot of us. But most of all to Patrick. Patrick, we got your back. Lucas, you're going to be spoiled rotten. And hopefully one day You'll be able to meet all of us. And we'll be able to tell you stories about your mom. Show you the videos of your mom from my show. Can't yet because your mommy was a little bit of a dirty mouth. We don't want you to learn those words just yet. Though you know what, it's probably in your blood anyway. We'll be there for you as you get older. Patrick is going to do a wonderful job. Your dad is going to do an amazing job teaching you right from wrong. He's got plenty of stories to tell you about your mom, more so than we do. But we've got some stories too. I agree, Laura. I was getting ready to, I was leading to that. Raise your beard, Amy. This is for you. It's an island lager for the Puerto Rican American Canadian. For those who might not have seen Amy's previous appearances on Dylan Knows, I have posted them last night. So go to my @Holodill feed, dig through there. If you don't want to do that, you can go to my YouTube page, go to the playlist. You can pick and choose which ones. They were episodes 61, 65, 108, 113, and 176. And I'm going to see if there are some other ones that I can find. I need another drink. You'll always be in our heart, Amy. We got your back. You had ours. We have yours. Patrick, whatever you need, we're here for you. I think we ate too many tacos because that was Dawn Snarks running in to get the Pepto-Bismol. We had a lot of tacos. We had a lot of tequila. We had a big party because you know what? That's what wakes are about. Wakes are about remembering our loved ones we've lost and remembering the good times we had. We knew there were bad times, and we don't forget the bad times. But you don't really want to bring up the bad times now, do you? You want to bring up the good times. And that's what the wakes are for. Wakes are for times to reminisce about the loved ones you just lost. Good examples, my grandmother died. At the wake, I was talking to my cousins, and I told them an anecdote one day after I got married. A couple months after I got married, went to visit my grandmother for Christmas. Hadn't seen her since the wedding. My grandmother looked at me and says, "Wow, Dylan, you got really fat." I was like, "What? What do you say that for, Grandma?" And she's like, "Oh, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I meant that Dawn was taking good care of you." That's the type of things you talk about at wakes. We talked about Amy making fun of me about not being able to drink beer. In a playful banner way. It wasn't mean, it wasn't vicious. It was fun. I got her back too, you know? And just listening to her talk and laugh and crack wise, and that dirty mouth, that's the one thing you'll never ever forget about her, was that mouth was was filthy. But that was one of her most endearing qualities. I will continue to keep you up to date on what's going on with Amy and her family, or I should say with Patrick and his family, and how snarkalecs are reacting and surviving. This isn't the end. This is just the eulogy. It's just a time for me to say goodbye and hope that everyone out there still watching for the last hour feels the same way I did about Amy and feels the same way about her. I think there's one more piece I want to play from my favorite show, Twin Peaks. There is a video on YouTube which is fairly appropriate. There it is right there for this situation. Let's see if I can. I'm going to skip through this one because Amy didn't die in war. The first line is, every time a man dies in war. But there's some other good lines. I'm going to turn that down. All right, here we go.
For none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. Ceremony begins understanding. Will to carry on to those we must leave behind. So now the sadness comes.
Here's to you, Amy. You got your back. We love you. We miss you. And I know right now you're probably cursing in heaven, which is funny. There's actually a song, I think I'm going to post that later on tonight before I go to bed, from the movie Waking the Divine, called Cursing in Heaven. I can only imagine what kind of stuff you're raising up there. I don't want to say the H word because you're going to be up there, and I don't want to say that up there. We know you're watching us. We know you're watching Lucas and Patrick. We got their back as well. We love you. As Log Lady said, and now the sadness starts. But also, as Major Briggs said, also understanding that there's more to life. There's afterlife. And right now, as I said before, here's hoping Amy's cursing in heaven, angry that she will not be able to see Lucas grow up or see Patrick again until they join her. But she's probably surrounded by infinite amounts of tacos and pizza and beer. And it's probably raising hell up there right now. I know she's watching her family. I know she's watching us. We know you loved us, Amy, and we love you too. And that's all I got to say about that. So, my show is generally about 2 hours long. Yes, Patrick, I will. Actually, I'm going to write this to Patrick real quick. Patrick, I post the, whoops, I pissed. No, I don't mean pissed. See, now Amy's taking over my typing. I post this to Facebook. Actually, Holly already did it, so never mind. You'll see it again, Patrick. What will happen is after I'm done the video, it uploads, and then I send it out and put it on my Twitter feed, and it also goes to Facebook, and I try to share it and like it and all that stuff. And if you want to, everyone out there, please like and share the video. And I don't want to sound like I'm being, please watch my show. No, I wanted you to, because this is a deeply personal video, but I think it needs to be out there because the world needs to know what a wonderful person Amy Fegaro was. So all that talk of me saying I'm done, I wasn't quite done yet. See, the joy you're bringing us, we were talking about you downstairs at dinner the whole time, Amy. So, and right now they're fun events with the kids and family. So we have more snarkalec events coming up. So keep that in mind as well. And at those also, we will be thinking of you, Amy. Particularly, eventually we're going to get our way to Gettysburg and see some ghosts, and maybe we'll see your ghost. And just to reiterate again real quick, while this episode was pretty much focused on Amy and the loss to the snarkalecs, I just want everybody to know also that Janine, one of our snarkalecs, also lost her mother. MJ, one of our snarkalecs, also lost his mother. And Steve, one of our snarkalecs, lost his grandmother this week alone. So it's been a rough week. And I wanted to acknowledge them, even though I didn't know them as well as I knew Amy. But the fact that family members have been lost this week is still a devastating blow. But again, as I said, and as Gandalf has said, it's sad, but they're in a better place now. They're happier, healthier, more vibrant, more full of life. And who knows how time runs up there. We might be up there already. We might be interacting with them already. Our spirits. That's all I'd say about that. So I am going to not necessarily lighten the mood a little bit, but I had some other stuff I wanted to talk about on my show. If you want to stick around, and I'm only going to go till about 11:30, so if you want to stick around, you can. I know Late Night Movie Club is getting ready to gear up, so if you guys want to stick around for 15 minutes or so and check that out, go ahead. I won't feel angry if you all decide to desert the ship, but I am going to talk about some other stuff going on. And actually, this one, the first thing I want to talk about is a good connection to Amy. Discovered this week from a friend of mine from college up in Philadelphia. Pizza flavored ice cream. Yeah. Pizza flavored ice cream up in Philadelphia. I don't know where. Don't ask me where. Just a friend of mine from college who I still follow on Facebook. She mentioned it, and they tried it, and they actually said it was actually pretty good. I can't imagine how it could be good, but she liked it. Tequila. Just so happened to be, we were drinking tequila just now, earlier today anyway. George Clooney sold his tequila business for $1 billion. Billion dollars. I guess he started a tequila business when he wasn't George Clooney. I mean, famous George Clooney. And He just sold it for $1 billion. $1 billion for a tequila business. Whew. I'm in the wrong business. It's so hot out there. How hot is it, Dylan? It's so hot that Phoenix, Arizona air flights have, what the hell did I write there? Could not fly because of the extreme heat. Tires are melting, things are just too rough. The heat stopped airplanes from flying. That's freaking insane. Here's some good news. An all-girl engineering team invented a solar-powered tent for the homeless. I guess they'd give them the tent and it'd be solar powered so they could have light, maybe heat, cold air, a TV or something to give them some comforts from home by not, by helping them. They can't help them buy a house or whatever, but this is the next best thing they can do. It's actually a pretty good idea. It's just getting worked on, but the fact that it was an all-girl engineering team is amazing. Gold was found in leaves of some plants in the Australian outback. Gold. You take some of those plants, you shake that gold off, you make some money. How does gold get on a plant anyway? I don't know. It's a good question. For the gamers out there, Atari is creating a new gaming console. Remember those? Atari was the first one to do like the home video gaming console, with the Pong and the basketball with the two little guys going back and forth. I guess, either they're going to update the games or they're going to create their own system. So we'll have to wait and see. That's to be determined. Tropical storm something, Katie. Anyway, it was tropical storm nothing up here, and also I don't think it was too bad down south of you guys. Where you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think the tropical storm that hit down south was quite as bad as people expected, which is fine, which is great. We don't want to have another Katrina disaster or whatever. And then we were supposed to get the remnants of the rain early this morning between 3 and 8 this morning, and I looked out about 5 o'clock. It was sunny, and the ground looked a little wet, but it didn't look like we got the 1 to 2 inches of rain we were expecting. So either it went further north of us, or it just said, not that exciting. Someone do that. Well, I'm running through these real quick. I guess I'm still emotionally thinking about the other stuff. I'm probably going to end this probably close to 11 o'clock. What do I want to talk about? Oh, this is something interesting. I don't know if you guys have noticed this lately. Yeah, I can see my counts going. All right, he's getting boring. I'm dropping down to 4 viewers. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we went to the grocery store as we always do, and we needed toilet paper. I mean, it's an essential. You need to have toilet paper. Nothing wrong with that. You got to have it. And Dawn brought back like a 12-pack, and it's a brand new style of toilet paper roll without a cardboard roll in it. It's really odd. It has no cardboard roll, so it's wrapped tightly, and there's a circular area where you can put it on the toilet thingamajagger. And then when you get down to the end of the roll, it's just like, okay, here's the last bit of toilet paper. That's it. And there's no cardboard center that you have to recycle or you throw out or whatever. I know, Holly, I'm glad you're still here. It was just funny watching go from 15 viewers down to 5. It's just funny, and I know the reason why, and I'm okay with it. But thank you for watching. I do appreciate, and the other viewers you're watching as well. I do appreciate everyone watching. So I don't know. It's not. It's just weird, you know. I've always been used to having the cardboard roll in my toilet paper, but I guess I can understand because now it's less trash or less things you need to recycle. Now they've just been able to um, fix it so that you just have the toilet paper and you don't waste it. So it's kind of interesting to look at it that way. I'm not sure how big of a fan I am of this because I've talked about this on my show before. I'm a comic book guy, and I have a comic book show. I do with MJ Con, and this is probably better suited for that. But I don't know, the next time MJ and I are going to get together due to the loss of his mother. But I've talked about this before. Watchmen is one of those shows where it's one of those comics that people consider to be some of the greatest comic books, one of the greatest comic book stories of all time. While I enjoy the story, I wouldn't necessarily call it one of the greatest. It's an interesting story and it's different, but I don't particularly find it to be extraordinary. And they made a pretty good movie by Zack Snyder of it. So now, with the success of all these TV shows and stuff like that on HBO and Showtime and Stars, particularly, I think what brought this about mostly was American Gods doing very successful work on the Stars network. They're bringing The Watchmen to a TV show. Now, they're going to do a TV show of Watchmen, the comic book. First, we did a movie already. Second, it was a 12-issue miniseries. Now, Walking Dead is an ongoing series. They're around issue 170, 175, 180, somewhere around there. And they're still going. Watchmen had an ending. Issue 12, bang, done. So is it a limited series then, or are you hoping for multiple seasons? And if that's the case, how the heck are you going to expand it, if you are at all? How are you even going to do it if it's an hour show? Okay, maybe you can do 12 episodes, one per issue. But in some of those issues, not a lot happens. So I don't know if I'm want to see this. I mean, Damon Lindelof, who was with Lost and The Leftovers and other shows like that, he is working on this one. So I guess there's a rhyme or reason to it, but I don't find Watchmen particularly extraordinary. And there was a movie already. And thank you, Patrick. Patrick Smith is still here. I know you're going to be going to Late Night Movie Club, which is awesome. Hopefully, enjoy yourself there. And I appreciate you listening, Patrick. I do. And I will get you back on again, I promise. So I don't know how I feel about that. I think MJ and I will talk about this, discuss it later on down the line. Barbie dolls. Who played with Barbie dolls when they were older or younger? A little bit. My sister was into them. Not me. Not me, yeah. But yeah, The Mist has a series too. Yeah. Holly replied to that. Now with The Mist though, Holly, I think you can expand that a little bit better than Watchmen, because The Mist, if you read the novella, it has an open end. Unlike the movie, it has an open end. Now, is your sound going out too? I don't know why the sound seems to be going in and out here. All right, so I don't know why sound's going in and out. I'll check the feedback on this. Besides Jen and Holly, is there anyone else who can't hear me? Patrick, can you still hear me? It might just be headset batteries. No, my headset's fine. I got my full Actually, I'm turn it up now. There we go. Maybe sure headset batteries. I don't know. So the Mist novella ends as open-ended. It doesn't really have an ending. It has the remaining heroes going out into the mist to see what happens. So I can actually see where they could go with that. So thanks, Mel. I guess some people are having some sound problems. I hope it's not a major issue. I think, Holly, you'll notice when I play it back on there, so you'll probably be able to hear it better then. So I'm sorry for anything. I'm particularly upset with the fact that I broke down for probably about 5 minutes in the middle of the show. So I still blame that on Amy fucking around with me. So because that's what Amy would do. I only got a few more of these, and then I'll let you all go. I'm just totally spent. I was going to talk about my birthday because, and I still might, because my birthday actually was really weird this year. And this was before I found out what happened to Amy. At work, I had a number of people call out. I was going to be going to the Oriole game later on. A steam pipe blew up right near the Oriole Stadium, causing traffic to be backed up incredibly for the long time. It took us about half an hour to 40 minutes to just go like 2 miles. It was a crazy day at work. It was a hard day at work. My boss is on vacation this week, and so I was doing his work along with other stuff as well. Spirit strain batteries. That's right, Holly. It's Amy saying, "Hey, what's going on?" So I had to do some. One of my jobs, I have to ship out skids of stuff, and we go through FedEx usually. They only allow 6 skids through their system, and then you have to go to what we call volume quote. And I didn't know how to do it. My boss didn't teach me how to do it before then, so I had to figure out how to do that. So I was able to finagle some stuff and get the 6 out. And then someone came running out, so I had to delete 22 packages that I had just put in because they was wrong. So I got them deleted, and then literally 5 minutes later, she says, "Oh, never mind, they were wrong. You can put them back in now." I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" We had problems with transfers. The kids were exhausted and sunburned from camp. It was only their second day of camp, and they weren't quite into how to do things at camp. So they had that problem. We got to the Oriole game, and the section we were in, our section was fine, but the section next to it was the obnoxious section. It consisted of 25 to 30-year-old men and women. So they were all drinking and flirting and yelling and screaming and being loud and yelling obscenities within earshot of my kids. And yeah, that wasn't great. The game, the Orioles versus the Cleveland Indians. The Orioles have been having a rough patch of things lately, and it got out of hand very quickly. It was 5-2 by like the 4th inning, and so it was getting late. The game was moving at a snail's pace, and the kids still had to get up early for camp the next day. I had to get up for work. Dawn had to get up for work. So I said, okay, we're going to leave about 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock came, and it was like the top of the 5th inning is when the Orioles were up, or the bottom of the 5th inning when the Orioles were up. And they started scoring and having a big inning. So we wanted to wait and see that. Eventually, by the time the inning ended, the Orioles had tied it 5-5. But by then, it was like 9:30. It was like, oh, geez. We had to stay. So we're getting ready to go. But then Dawn's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think it was going to take this long, but they had bought me a scoreboard surprise, which is at the stadium, you can buy something that shows up on the scoreboard or the Diamond Vision screen, particularly for your birthday. They bought me one that were going to wish me a happy birthday. And they said they show up between the 6th and the 8th inning. But by now it was 9:30. The kids were exhausted. They needed to get back home. It was going to take us like half hour to get to our car, and then like another half hour home. So we weren't going to get home till like 10:30 anyway. So I was like, okay, I appreciate it, but we got to get going. So we went out. Then my daughter had to go to the bathroom, and so I think Dawn went with her too. So my son and I were standing around, and then the Orioles were pitching, and they were able to get the Indians out pretty quickly. So it was the middle of the sixth inning. So we thought, okay, let's just go back out to see if they show the scoreboard surprises. And voila, we lucked out. They showed the scoreboard surprises, and I saw my name up on the dime vision. Now, I couldn't take a picture of it because I tried to, but the way my camera was positioned where it was, there was a light like right on it. So from our angle, it was just one big bright light. You wouldn't be able to see it. So I got to see it, which was great. And then luckily, I found out later on that Dawn and Noelle had gotten out of the bathroom, and then they'd heard that it was also a change of innings. So they went out on the other side. So we didn't see them, and they watched it and they saw it too. So we got to all see it. And we ended up getting back home into bed by about 11 o'clock. And then we had to get the kids up at 6:30 the next morning because their van to camp picks them up at 7:30. So that was my birthday. It was a weird one, a not particularly happy one. Just very stressful, hot. I mean, the Orioles ended up winning the game, which was good, and I got to see my name up on the scoreboard, and it was great. And I got a cake and a card from my coworkers at work, but it wasn't a phenomenal birthday. And then to find out that the glorious Amy Fegaro died on my birthday also added an extra layer of shit to it, to quote Amy. Ugh, I must really like you, Amy, because I don't like beer, though that's not too bad. All right, so I've got a few more left to go. So I was getting ready to talk about Barbie. So my sister played with Barbie dolls, and I play with her on that also. So of course, I always played with Ken. However, they've been trying to update the characters over the years. So they've done updates of Barbie and Ken. Well, there's a new update of Ken out now where he has a man bun. Ken now has a man bun. Now, that's just one Ken. There's a whole bunch of different Kens. You can get a regular Ken. You can get different colored skin Kens. You can get tall ones, short ones, whatever. But the fact that they have a man bun Ken, which would make a great band name, Man Bun Ken, if I do say so myself. Only a few more to go, and then I will let you lovely people do whatever you want to do. I hate Michael Bay. Everybody knows that. If you've been watching my show, you know I hate him. I just something about him and his movies I just detest. Well, he's filming he directed the Transformers 5, 6, 20, I don't know, that came out this weekend. It's not doing too well at the box office, but I don't do Schadenfreude, so I'm not going to complain about that and make fun of him for that. But he said, and this is a trend, it's all thanks to this guy right here, he wants to see an R-rated Transformer movie. And I was like, why do you want to see an R-rated Transformer movie? Transformers were for kids. Kids. It's a kids movie. And you've already tore it apart with your PG-13 madness anyway. Yes, Holly, they aren't. Your kids are not really tanned. No, they sunburn. And they get freckles, which is cute. Noelle has the cutest freckles on her face because of the sun she's in. Well, if Amy's messing with your sound again, I better drink some more beer. But he wants to do an R-rated Transformers movie? Really? Yes, I know Deadpool surprised everybody by being success being an R-rated comic movie, but that's the character. All right, Transformers are for kids. We knew Deadpool was not for... He freaking kills people, for crying out loud. But a Transformers who were for kids toys. I played with Transformers as a kid. You want to make an R-rated Transformers movie? What is wrong with you? It just adds another notch to why I hate Michael Bay. R-rated Transformers movie, my ass. Han Solo movie. There is a young Han Solo movie written by Lawrence Kasdan, which is fantastic. And they had two directors who directed the Lego movie. It was like, okay, this is going to be fantastic. And they were filming it. They were showing pictures of the sets and the characters, and it all looked good and great and everything. And then this week, it all goes to shit. First of all, with 3 weeks left of filming, the directors said, we're done. They quit the picture. Now, the rumor is that Lucasfilms had some issues with what they were doing. The rumor is also they were aiming more for a comedic movie instead of a science fiction action film. But you had 3 weeks left to film it. Just film it and get it in the can and get it out there. And if it flops, it flops, but it's not going to flop. It's Star Wars. Nothing Star Wars is going to flop. The prequels didn't flop. They made a lot of money. So, they left. So now who's going to direct the rest of the Han Solo movie? Or how's that going to work? Or is he just going to take the existing film and just add his last bit touch to it? Or is he going to say, sorry, let's start from scratch to add like another year production to it? I don't know, but we did find out that Ron Howard, Oscar winner, will be directing it. Now, I like Ron Howard. I like him a lot. I like him directing a lot. I like his direction a lot. I am just not sure what's going to happen now with him directing this Han Solo movie that was 3 weeks away from getting finished. At least the Justice League had a reasonable explanation about why Joss Whedon's coming in to finish up the filming of that, because unfortunately Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide and he thought he could cope, but he couldn't, which is understandable. She was 14 years old, so he had to leave the picture to focus on his family. That's a reasonable reason for leaving a big picture like that you've been working on for a long time. And the fact you got Joss Whedon to come in and now he's coming in and doing his reshoots. Now, again, I don't know what that means. Does that mean he's going to stick with the general, because the majority of the movie is already done. This is just to finish up some stuff. Is he just coming in to punch it up a little bit and then do the completed part, the editing and the reshoots and stuff like that, so that it comes out in time? Is it going to come out in November like it's supposed to now, or is it going to be delayed a year because of this? Same thing with the Han Solo movie. The Han Solo movie is supposed to come out next May. Is that going to be delayed now? So what's going to happen? So we don't know what's going to happen. But the fact is, I can understand why Zack Snyder left. It's a very reasonable reason for leaving directing a film. But I still know why these guys leave. It's very possible the reason why these guys left is a very reasonable reason, but I don't know what it is. And the fact that you got Ron Howard to come in now to finish directing it leads me to believe that you're just going to throw everything out and have him have his way with it, because he's Ron freaking Howard. He won an Oscar. He's been nominated for a number of times. So, I don't know. Is it going to make me not want to see it? No, I was going to see it anyway. As I said, Han Solo, Star Wars movies are pretty much, people are going to go see it regardless. Would it make as much as Force Awakens? Probably not. What's going to make as much as Force Awakens? Rogue One didn't, but Rogue One made pretty good bank, right? Is The Last Jedi going to make as much as the Force Awakens? I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't know. So I don't know what's going on with these two movies. As I said, I understand Zack Snyder leaving Justice League. I do understand that. And Joss Whedon coming in, I can understand that too, because he's going to be doing the Batgirl movie. But is he going to put his own stamp on it, or is he doing this just as a favor to finish up and just follow in the footsteps and maybe just add his little punch-ups here and there? I don't know. And again, is it going to delay? Because it's supposed to come out in November. Is it going to delay it now? I don't know. And then with this Han Solo thing, 3 weeks away from finishing. 3 weeks. To me, it sounds like, and then Ron Howard comes in. I don't know. We'll see. Joss is a boss. That's right, he is. Daniel Day-Lewis has retired from acting. We've had a few people: Sean Connery, Gene Hackman. Probably forgetting somebody. Is Hoffman directed? Did he not quit acting to retire from acting? I don't know, but actors are getting older. They're realizing that the parts that they are coveting or wanting to do are becoming less and less. Even if they are Sean Connery or Gene Hackman, they're getting too old. They're getting really old and too old to make movies. So they're going to sit back and they're going to retire, which is absolutely fine. You know, they have every right to retire. It was a job they'd done for years, and they're at the right age to retire. And you know, they made it was their job, so they have every right to retire. So I'm okay with that. Now, Daniel Day-Lewis is a different story. Now, Daniel Day-Lewis isn't that much older than my parents. He might be younger than my parents. My dad just turned 70. My mom's 69. I think Daniel Day-Lewis is probably in his 50s. And he can still act. I mean, there's still going to be roles for him, and he's still a 2 or 3 time Oscar winner. That's 3 time, or at least nominee. I don't think he hasn't won every time. Oh, he's won a bunch of Oscars, and he's a really good actor like that. But he's decided he's going to retire from acting also. You know, to be fair, again, that's fine, I guess. And it must be nice to be able to retire early. It's a lot like those basketball players and football players who retire at the age of 28 and they're multimillionaires. They don't have to work again for the rest of their lives. But on the flip side, they might have major brain problems. I don't know. So Daniel Day-Lewis is retiring. I guess I'm okay with it. I mean, I've seen him in a couple of his movies, and I like him. I think he's a good actor, but he's not the type of actor that I go out of my way to say, oh my God, Daniel Day-Lewis in this movie, I got to see it. No, he's not that way. I teased this, but I don't think I'm going to do it this week. I was going to talk baseball movies because baseball season is in full bloom. I was going to talk singles. It's its 25th anniversary. I was also going to talk Batman Returns, and Automatic for the People. I don't think we're going to do that either. I think I'm almost done here. I got 2 more things I want to talk about real quick. One is, actually, there's 3 holidays. Check Eye Day is a fantastic website, and I talk about this every time I do a solo show. And you can follow them on Twitter. And basically, the premise is every day is a holiday. Okay, and they literally tell you what holidays are today. I'm getting ready to. There's some really good ones today. So June 24th, 2007. Well, not but June 24th is Bartender and Mixologist Day. So go to your local bar and buy a beer, drink. Celebration of the Senses Day. So let's celebrate your sense of smell, your eyesight, your taste, your hearing, your touch. Am I missing one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 senses. No, I got them all. Global Smurfs Day. La 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 la. Blue. Look at that. Blue wall. Happy Smurfs Day. That was for you, Amy. Great American Campout and Great American Backyard Campout. Camping is cool. I haven't done it in a long time, and Dawn is the one who's doing most of the camping with the kids now for Boy Scouts, and Noelle does her own with Girl Scouts. So I used to be a huge camping guy, but not so much anymore. Great American Picnic Day. Well, it's 11:15 p.m. Eastern time, so it might be a little too late for picnics. International Fairy Day. Should have worn my fairy wings. Every time a bell rings, a fairy gets its wings. No, that's an angel. Museum Comes to Life Day. Okay. National Celebrate Your Marriage Day. Wah, wah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? National Pralines Day. That's a type of peanut, I think. And also National Creamy Pralines Day. What the hell is a creamy praline? Swim a Lap Day. Again, it's 11:15 Eastern time. I don't think you want to go swimming particularly now. Ooh, World UFO Day. Sweet. And that was the last one for today. Now, yesterday was International Windows Day, Let It Go Day, National Pecan Sandies Day. and National Pink Day was yesterday. Pink Flamingo Day was yesterday. Sweet. Public Service Day, Runner Selfie Day, Saturday Math Day, or Scholastic Assessment Test Math Day. And yesterday was Let's Take Your Dog to Work Day, Typewriting Day, and that's it. Now, let's see if I can get a preview of what tomorrow is going to be. I did this last time. Where are you? There's your website. So let's see what tomorrow is going to bring. Tomorrow's holidays are going to be National Amy Day. Well, every day is National Amy Day. Holidays for Saturday. Let's see. Is there Sunday? Yep. Holidays for Sunday, June 25th. America's Kids Day, Color TV Day, Day of the Seafarer, Descendants Day, Global Beatles Day. Ooh, listen to some Beatles. Leon Day, Log Cabin Day, National Catfish Day, National Log Cabin Day, I already said that. National Strawberry Parfait Day, World Vitiligo Day. So that's what tomorrow is. So we got some good stuff tomorrow as well. So it's Check Eye Day. Check it out. It's pretty cool website, and also they're on Twitter at Check Eye Day, at Check Eye Day. So it'll give you everything that came out every holiday this week. So a lot of good holidays today and tomorrow coming up. National Log Cabin Day tomorrow. Sweet. Finally, not too finally, Halloween comics. Again, you've all heard about Free Comic Book Day. It's the first Saturday in May, where you go to your local comic book store and they give you free comic books. It's a way to get you into the comic book store, see what's going on with them. It's a big celebration for the comic book world. They get creators to come sign books. It gets people into the store. They buy stuff. Big sales usually happen during those days, and my store is always busy, which is great. But they do have another smaller free comic book day in October. It's actually Halloween Haunt Fest, or Comics Fest, I should say. It's usually the last Saturday of October, the Saturday before Halloween. Or sometimes it's Halloween. In this case, it's going to be on October 28th. And your local comic book store will have a number of free comic books for you to get. Usually around this time, the weekend before Halloween is when a lot of these malls or strip malls, they do trick-or-treating for kids. So you dress in your costume, do stuff. Well, this is a way you can go to like a strip mall and do the trick-or-treating there, and then you can go to the comic book store and you can buy, you get free comics. So a lot of them are like horror-oriented, but there are family-friendly ones and everybody. So that's right, Patrick Smith. Every day is National Amy Day. Check it out. They got a good list of them. I think I'll get you the list next time. I'm just not feeling it right now because I'm draining fast, as is my viewer count, and we're getting close to the 2-hour mark anyway. So finally, this will be my last discussion point for the day. I know a lot of people laugh when I tell them that Dawn and I do Pokemon Go, but we like Pokemon Go. It gets us out of the house, gets you good exercise. It's a good a family event that we do where everyone in the family, the kids love to play it, and Dawn and I love to be, and we get a chance to walk around our gorgeous neighborhood. Ask Stardust and ask Consweet Khan and ask Will Feast. They'll tell you how cool our neighborhood was because they were just here. You also ask Myrna and Jerry because they've been here too. And Sesame Squirrel's been here too. So we've had a number of people here. We still haven't gotten everybody here, and unfortunately I never got Amy here, which I wish I could have gotten her to show her this area. But we'll see what happens down the line. Anyway, so Dawn and I, we played Pokemon Go. We've played it since it started last July. Now the 1-year event is coming up. Oh, this is stupid. Stop rolling off. The 1-year event is coming up next month. It started in July of last year, and it became a huge phenomenon. And keys to the game is you have to go out and you have to do actually exercise. You have to walk and you hatch eggs and go to Pokestops and fight and do stuff like that. And you find Pokemon in your neighborhood and stuff like that. You got to walk though to do it. And it's also supposed to be kind of social to get out there and talk to people and stuff like that. And it was for the longest time. Eventually, it leveled off. Go ahead, Holly. Thank you for watching, and for all your comments. I do appreciate everything you've done and everything snarkalec has done. So go do what you got to do. I'm almost done anyway. So, they've done to draw people back in. They've been doing events every month now, and it's made the game more interesting. So now they just recently had a revamp of their gym system. And night to you, Mel. Good night. Thank you for watching. Um, so they did a revamp of their gym system where the gyms look different and a different way of adding your characters to the gym, stuff like that. Now they have something called raids, and this is how they're going to introduce what we call the legendaries, which are characters that we've been asking for years, for a year. Um, mm, like a year. And so the legendaries are supposed to be coming in something called raids. So in order to get raids started, they wanted to start them now. So raids are coming to your local gym. So what's going to happen is if you see a raid, you go to your local gym and there's an egg and you don't know what's inside of it. And then what's going to happen is it'll hatch after a certain amount of time. It's counting down so you know when the time is and all that stuff. And it'll show you what type of Pokemon it is. And a lot of them right now are ones that we catch or we can evolve now, but they're much more powerful because every Pokemon has a particular combat power. And some are as low as like 79 or 13, and some are as high as 3,000. So it depends. And that depends upon their usage in gyms and stuff like that. But now what they're doing is they're releasing the characters that you've been evolving and catching and stuff like that in these raids, and they're like tripling their CP. So if you had a Pokemon that was like a 3,000 XP or CP rather, they will have that same Pokemon show up at a raid at like maybe 10,000 CP. And then if you take them out, you get an opportunity to catch that Pokemon and add it to your Pokédex. And so it's a great fun. But the easiest way to knock out these really powerful CP people is to get multiple people to fight. And they are allowing up to 20 people to take out one of these creatures at the same time. And this is where the social aspect of it comes. The social aspect of it where you go to these raids and there's already going to be a group of people there and you all work together to fight and take out the Pokemon, and then everybody gets a chance to catch them. We did 2 raids today. Dawn actually did 3 because she bought one of the special tickets that gives her a chance to do 3. And at one of them, after we did the fight, we hung out with a bunch of people we'd never met before, just chit-chatting about Pokemon Go. And we sat there for a good 10, 15 minutes just chit-chatting about it. And so that's what Niantic, who created Pokemon Go, that's what they want to do with these raid things. So these raid things are really, really cool. And if you have gotten out of Pokemon Go, I highly recommend you get back into it now because these raid events are spectacular and are a lot of fun. And it's a good social way to meet new people and stuff like that. So I'm down to 1 viewer, and that's good because I'm down to my end. I'm emotionally drained. I was able to do upwards of about a 2-hour show. Not quite 2 hours, going to be a little bit less than 2 hours. And the only mistake I made, well, there's 2. One is the computer shut down for a good 5 minutes during the episode and then came back up, luckily. And I got to change the episode number. It's 196, not 106. So hopefully I'll be able to change that in the system. And I hope I can. I should be able to. I'll play with it maybe a little bit, maybe tomorrow, because I'm getting tired right now and emotionally drained. So on that note, I'm going to be doing this all weekend. If you have a memory of our friend Amy Fegaro, or you change your avatar to wear bright colors, which is the one thing that we're doing for her, bright colors in our avatars and wearing bright colors during the day to celebrate her brightness and her love of life. Hashtag for Amy. I think it's a good hashtag. I like it. We do miss you, Amy, and we do love you. And I know you're frustrated and angry right now, but you are in heaven and you're in a glorious place right now. And I know, unfortunately, you're away from your son and husband, but hopefully you're surrounded by other loved ones and you're surrounded by pizza, tacos, and beer. I already drank all my beer, so I'm just going to give a tip of the hat to my friend, the Puerto Rican American Canadian. We'll miss you. We love you. We'll keep an eye on your family for you, because that's what family does. And we're family. Good night. For Amy.